All right, this should come as no surprise. According to a new poll, millennials blame baby boomers for ruining their lives. 51% of millennials surveyed by Axios and SurveyMonkey say boomers have made things worse for their generation. Now, here is the surprise. About a third of boomers say it's true. This is what we want to talk about on Mind the Gap this week, when we take two people from two different generations and get their take on the issues of the day. Let's go to our panel. Aaron Rand is a baby boomer and the afternoon show host at CJAD Radio Montreal. He's in Miami. David Coletto is a millennial and CEO of Abacus Data, a Canadian polling and market research firm. He joins us from Ottawa. Welcome to you both.
Hi, good evening.
Thanks for having me.
David, let's start with you. Do you blame baby boomers? And if so, for what and why?
Well, I don't personally blame all of them, or certainly not my parents, who I'm privileged to have had such a good life. But I think there is a sense among Canadian millennials, American millennials, that the system that boomers had a big hand in building is maybe cracking a bit. And when it comes to housing or the way the economy works or the opportunities that might exist for our generation as we enter the workforce don't seem to be as they were described to us as we were growing up. And so I think there's a little bit of angst growing up, and we see in many countries around the world, in the UK and the US, politically, millennials are using their political power to take that out on our parents' generation. Okay,
so let me just clarify, David, what were you sold? Meaning, what did you think about the system, and why do you think it didn't happen? What are the things that didn't happen for you thought would?
Well, I think we were told that there'd be a world out here where there'd be lots of jobs, where we were told to follow our dreams, do what you love to do, don't follow in our footsteps. We were supported. Don't get me wrong. I think more than any generation before, I think our parents supported us. They guided us. They were our agents. When they could, they helped us. But they also set up this very optimistic, almost surreal world that certainly doesn't exist. And I think it's having an effect on how we are reacting, where we see that the jobs that our parents could rely on, not all of them, but many of them that had good security, good pensions, good benefits, all of those are far harder to find today. And then when it comes to housing in Canada and other parts of the world, it's just really hard to get in the market. So my sense is we were, not all of us, but a lot of us were sold this vision of a world that certainly hasn't played itself out.
All right, Aaron, let's turn it over to you. Did the younger generation get sold a false bill of goods? And did boomers build a system that doesn't really work for people?
Yeah, if we did, we certainly didn't do it on purpose. And I'm glad that David doesn't blame all boomers, just some boomers. But you know what? I mean, I think honestly, every generation looks at its parents and goes, wow, you had it better than I had it. But that changed, I think, after the wars. And I would remind, millennials who look at this, we live in peace now. That's not something necessarily our parents had the luxury of doing. We inherited that from them, and we've handed that off. But hey, listen, we gave you millennials, we gave you microwavable popcorn, we gave you jeans, we gave you rock and roll, we gave you McDonald's, for better or worse. Hey, and oh, by the way, you're very welcome for computers and the internet. I mean, all these things that were developed by boomers are there now. And I hear the word entitlement come up a lot, and I actually don't like that word. I prefer impatience. I think this generation, more than any other, is more impatient. And I hear that anecdotally from people I know who own businesses who say, you know what, I hire a millennial, and they're into it for a week or two, and they don't really care. They want to move on. That's different from what it was in our generation. When you got a job, you stuck with that job. I don't think that's the case anymore, and I think that's part of the disappointment that millennials have in this job market. But you remember something else. Jobs evolve, economies evolve. It's not fair to blame anyone. You just have to keep up the time. You have to be a little less impatient. And part of the impatience problem is of our own development. So many things happen so fast now, it's hard not to be impatient. And that's part of the...
They have access like we never did in the past to all sorts of information. I can't remember the last time somebody had to go to the library for anything. But, David, I would have to agree that now we've been saying that for a number of years. They're so impatient. They want to get ahead. They want this. They want that. But those years have now passed as well, and they're still trying to get full-time jobs. They're still only being hired freelance, and they're not getting some of that security that the other generations had by the time they were 30. So, David, where would you put us where would you put that now as far as the security never coming around?
Well, I think, I agree to some extent with Aaron to say that, maybe we're a little bit impatient, but the stats bear out that my generation are leaving our parents' home, are buying our own home, are starting our own family, finding that job we really consider a career much later in our lives than my parents' generation, than the boomers. And so, despite maybe being impatient or not wanting to wait for things, what's clear is that we have had to wait for those big milestones much later in our lives. Part of it is more women are getting post-secondary degrees. We're getting, we're more educated than we've ever been. But on the flip side, that education has also cost us way more than previous generations in today's dollars. And so, there is, I agree, some impatience on the part of my generation. On the other hand, the facts bear out that life is more expensive today. And if you want to do all the things that my parents' generation told us we should do, which is get a job, start a family, buy a home, all the dreams that we share with our parents' generation, there's no doubt in my mind that it's harder to do today, those things, despite the fact that, generally speaking, we are a wealthier generation in a country than we were 30, 40 years ago.
Okay, so let me make a suggestion here, and then, Aaron, I'll turn it over to you. David's talking about what they were told to do, right? Get married, have kids, buy a house, do all of those things, settle down, settle in. But I think the baby boomer generation didn't listen to what anybody told them to do. They just did what they wanted to do and figured out the settling down thing much later in life as well.
Well, I don't think anyone told you to get married, have kids, whatever. That was the American dream, if you want to call it that. I mean, by the way, let me just go back and address something you said with respect to security. We were never promised any security. We never got jobs and figured we'd stay for life. We worked at whatever we worked at, and if it worked out great, it turned into security. So that's a bit unfair to hang on boomers. And secondly, I think it's important to remember, too, when I say impatience, David keeps saying a little impatient. I think there's a lot of impatience out there right now with respect to millennials. I have two producers I work with. They're both millennials, and I see it every day from them. That's not something we did. And maybe they're better for it. I don't know. And remember something else. When you talk about things being more expensive now, things are more expensive every single year. It was like that for us. It was like that for our parents. That's never going to change.
All right, you guys, I have to leave the conversation there, even though we're on a roll right now. We'll have to pick it up another time. David Coletto and Aaron Rand, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.